Welcome to episode 20 of the Toronto Until Blue Jays podcast. I'm Steve Artabello with Anthony Harris and Theo Giordano. You can find our website, torontountilt.com. You can find our Twitter at TorontoUntilt. Of course, you can find our YouTube where this video will be posted of the podcast, Toronto Untilt. And finally, you can find us on all streaming platforms, anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you want the podcast audio, you can get that at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Bleaker, Anchor, all of the things. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Not much has gone on because of the rain out. Just to be completely transparent, the first two games of the Texas series is over. We're recording this before the third game, the second half of the doubleheader today. We'll probably be posting this sucker during, actually, just timing-wise, we're definitely going to be posting this thing during the game. So we're just going to get right into it. Tony's going to kick off what the Rangers were doing because then we're just going to do a quick of that. And then obviously, as everyone knows, the Jays are coming home and it's more of that kind of thing. That's really the big news. So we'll do a quick little rundown of what's happening and then kind of look to the future. So Tony, let us know what happened in game one of the series.
What happened was Robbie Ray started for the second game in a row for the Blue Jays. He started the game before the All-Star break. And he was excellent. He didn't give up any runs over his 6 2/3. While Jordan Lyles on the other side, showing batting practice and just getting knocked around like crazy. He gave up 4 home runs in the first 3 innings of the game. Vlad hit 1 first inning. Then Semyon, Teoscar, and Randall hit 3 in the third. You know, it was a blowout. Everyone was getting involved. In the final score, it was 10-2.
I would like to point out that they measured the second Vladdy one at 416. And I would like to also agree with Dan Schulman that they do not know how to track things properly at the minor league ballparks. There is no way that only went 416.
No, they're guessing on half of those. They don't know.
That thing, like Schulman said, that cleared the net. The net is at least 30 feet high.
Yeah.
Wasn't his first home run kind of a wall scraper, like a Buffalo special?
No, he also hit all of that. He hit one it went super high, but I think it ended up carrying like.
Okay, I thought the first one was a little bit shorter, and then the second one he crushed.
Oh, the second one hit the street. Like the second one left the ballpark over the screen off the street. Could have hit a car. It's probably still rolling down that freeway in Buffalo right
now. The children at that school can rest easy now that the Jays are not going to be destroying their classrooms anymore.
The All-Star game one was 468, they said.
Yeah.
And this one, I thought, was further than that.
Right? That's exactly what I thought. And not to mention, Vladdy just out here doing Vladdy things, trying to become the face of baseball with Tatis and Shohei. And he's just out here in the All-Star game winning the MVP with a dinger and then first game back. 2 dingers, absolute like I love Vladdy. It's so awesome watching this.
If he wins a triple crown and he doesn't win MVP, I don't care how much what Shohei does.
He's not going to win MVP.
If he gets triple crown,
just face the fact he's not going to win.
If he gets the triple crown, no one's ever won the triple crown and not won MVP, and I don't think there's enough young voters to not just give him the MVP because he.
No, but Shohei's pitching unless
I feel like it would be really hard if he wins the Triple Crown for certain people to justify giving an MVP to anyone else just because he won the Triple Crown. Don't get me wrong. What Shohei's doing is him and Vlad are basically neck and neck as batters, and Shohei's also out here pitching and throwing 100.
At an all-star level.
Exactly. He started the All-Star game as a pitcher and as a D. He is an MLB The Show creative character, is what he is. Quite frankly, he's a unicorn, and it's awesome.
And he's stolen how many 12 bases?
He's also and Statcast says he's one of the fastest players in the league. He's in the upper percentile of everything. He is a creative player. He's like the dude who you literally created, and you're like 99 speed, 99 hit, 99 throw, 99, 99, 99, 99.
This is a Vlad podcast.
For Vlad.
This is way too much Otani talk. This is a Blue Jays Vladimir Guerrero show.
I love, how much I love Vladdy. I went to go see Vladdy in Buffalo when that was a thing, when you were allowed to travel and cross borders, and there wasn't, Anyways, just getting all we're getting to the point where we can do that again, actually, which is going to be really fun. Oh, Lord. Theo, what happened today?
Yeah, we had a rain out yesterday. Very disappointing, but it didn't matter. Jays come out today, win 5-0. Hyun-Jin Ryu saving the bullpen. 7 innings, did not need a reliever, no runs. Texas stinks, but we did see before the break a little bit of concern with Ryu. And like, okay, he's not as dominant. Maybe he just needs a little bit of a break. Turns out, Steve was saying earlier in the press conference, he said that Pete Walker said something to Ryu about his delivery.
I'm just grabbing it right now. So Keegan Matheson tweeted that Hyun-Jin Ryu said, I'm reading the tweet directly. Hyun-Jin Ryu said he and Pete Walker looked at his arm angle and release point recently, which was getting too low. With that back to where he wants it, Ryu felt it resulted in better velocity and his best changeup. Hashtag Blue Jays.
So
it was obvious. I was talking to you guys before the podcast. Have you ever seen him throw 93 before? Because I honestly haven't. Not as a Blue Jay. I've seen him throw 92, but I've never seen him hit 93.
Can't say I have.
And that's his best game of the year, right?
Oh, he looked phenomenal, and his changeup is his biggest weapon. And for that to be back, we were talking about it before that, maybe it was Danny, maybe it was a pitch framing thing, maybe it was a comfortable, how comfortable he was with his catcher. Well, if it's also the mechanics, this is perfect. This is what you want to see.
Even if it has nothing to do with Danny Jansen, this is so good for him as a career backup on this team. They will never get rid of him. If he's going to make Ryu pitch well, he's just going to have a job. So
and then hit moonshots like he did today. Exactly.
That too. When he runs into a baseball, he really runs into it. So.
But yes, Theo, you can continue.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The main highlight offensively, Danny Jansen. Continue to go with Shet, continuing to hit very well. And then a few other runs we drove in. Again, Texas is a team we should beat. I was annoyed when we didn't beat them the first series because of the rivalry we have with them and just how shit they are. We should be beating them. And it looks like we took the series already. Hopefully win this game with Steven Matz. But good game in the first half of this doubleheader. And
well, we can jump right into it. Like in the look ahead, we'll talk more about Baraki being back. I'd like to point out that Santiago Espinal was playing third base, and it was not our boy Kevin Biggio. I know there was a lefty on the mound, but I would still like to point that out that I didn't completely mush that. The Jays need to go on a big, they need to push the front office to win. So they're coming home and it's awesome. And I can't wait that they're actually back in Toronto in July. God knows if we'll ever be able to get tickets. I might have to mortgage my future, which I will actually do to go see this. I don't care how. I haven't been able to watch any ball games at the Dome for what's about to what might be the second summer of my life, ever. When I was little, I was taken to ball games at the Dome at all points of my life. I'm pretty sure from the time.
What was the last game we went to? Didn't we all go together?
That was August 2019 against Seattle.
Yeah. I might have gone in September. I definitely went in September.
I remember that now, yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's been so long that we have to go there. But in terms of the on the field stuff, and we'll dig more into that. I don't know if you guys want to get into more, just how great it is that they're actually coming back here. We can definitely do that. But in terms of the on the field stuff, they need to basically sweep this. They've already won the series. Great. Sweep the series. Go beat you have to win the series against the Red Sox, and then you have to beat the hell out of the Mets, who aren't going to have DeGrom, who's now on the IL, and don't have Lindor. They need to push the front office to make big moves. They need to continue winning and, really push their way to that second wild card. So the front office basically has to look around and be like, okay, we have the opportunity here. We have to make this play. I don't know what you guys think, but that's kind
absolutely. Yeah.
That's big this week.
If the Red Sox are going to get exposed this season, I'm going to say we're going to be the ones that have to do it. This next 2 weeks with them, if they beat us, if they win more games than we win against them, I think that there's too far away. We can't catch the Red Sox this season. If we can take both series against the Red Sox, beat the Mets, maybe hold off this game here, you're right in that AL East race. You might be 5 games back, 4 games back, and this is a whole different conversation. So it's the most important stretch, and we've emphasized it a lot, and hopefully they get it done because it'll make the front office really excited to make moves.
I've said all season the Red Sox starting pitching is a fraud, and you're not going to face Nathan Eovaldi. According to Pat Tabler, if his math is right here on the starts. But I do believe Eovaldi pitched last night in the rain, because I think that was last night where he hit a couple of Yankees, but it was raining. He did pitch in that awful, like ridiculous game last night. Which, as much as like I hate both those teams, but the fact the Yankees won actually helped. But Eovaldi shouldn't be pitching in this series, which is kind of huge since he's the only guy that you can really count.
I'm looking at it now. We got Nick Pivetta, Ross Stripling. Tomorrow's the 19th, right?
Yeah.
So then that's the first game. And I just exit the screen, so not good. And then the
So then you're
20th,
going to have Manoah.
Garrett Richards and Manoah. And then you got nothing announced for the next
Robbie Ray and then it'll be probably Robbie Ray and Eovaldi. Pat Tabler's math and ability to count I should not have relied on. It's a terrible, terrible decision, people. I'm sorry. Unless there's an off day in there for the Red Sox. Like they have a different, depending on like how their schedule works. Like if they were off today and didn't have anyone, I don't know. Who knows how the hell it's going to go? I shouldn't have trusted Pat Tabler's word on who was going to go and that they were going to miss Nate Eovaldi because they're probably going to face him in that last game. Because it'll be Robbie Ray would be my guess. The way
that Seattle series was pretty big. How we lost those games to them because now we're right behind them in the wild card race. So.
Exactly.
I'm not nervous about them, but they're still hanging around, and it's a little.
I can't see them sticking around long term. Like I think the reason they're kind of sticking around at this moment is they called up Logan Gilbert, and he looks real. I don't know how much more help they're really going to get though.
Do we know what their schedule? They got a lot of Astros games coming up, a lot of athletic.
Think about who's in that division. The only team that they can beat up on is the Rangers.
They got 4 against Oakland, 22nd through 25th, and then Houston right after that, all at home. So that's a pretty big stretch.
Yeah. And then again, the Angels are also in that. Brandon Marsh came up today. The Angels are clearly really, you know what I mean? They're pulling out all the stops trying to be in it so that when Mike Trout comes back, his team can do something.
And I just checked today because I had to make a few bets about the NFL futures, and I saw the Jays. We now have better World Series odds than the Yankees. We're 20-1. They're 22-1.
Love it.
Which I know what you say about the Yankees stink. Yankees stink. People still want to bet the Yankees, and the fact that we're getting a little bit of respect from Vegas is pretty good to see. But as far as the wild card, like Cleveland doesn't concern me.
No.
The Angels, I think I'm more Angels than Cleveland.
The Angels, because they're gonna get Mike Trout back, and like their front office will make moves. Their ownership group is aggressive. They will spend money. They do that kind of thing. So that's why you have to worry about the Angels because they like. Who knows what they have to trade, but they'll be out there and they'll be active. So
Rendon too, who's missed pretty much.
He's coming back, right? And if he ever, who knows? This could be one of those seasons. It's the last season because he's been false started so many times. But if you get Anthony Rendon playing anything near Anthony Rendon level, like even 75% of Anthony Rendon is an all-star.
Yeah.
Right. Like he is that type of next level player. If you get him back, you get Trout back. If you can catch lightning in a bottle with Brandon Marsh. They're the team, right? They're the team I'm worried about.
And at the time when Trout got hurt, I think the conversation was like flattening him for MVP before he got hurt. So, obviously Trout's an amazing player, but he was playing well this season before he got hurt. So.
Exactly. He's still phenomenal. So
yeah,
that would be my worry, right? And obviously the division opponents because they're going to go to NAD. You know that's going to happen. So
yeah.
Yankees are in a weird spot though, with like how aggressive are they going to be? Where do they view this team as right now? It just seems like they keep getting stuck in mud here.
The Red Sox are going to add. I have no idea what the Yankees are going to do.
They got those COVID issues, right?
Yeah, like that should probably, to be fully honest, that should probably be your sign. That should be the sign to sell. I don't know if the Yankees are going to do it because they're the Yankees. They rarely do it. It would be some really interesting voodoo if the Jays happen to go on a run in the second season in my lifetime that the Yankees decide to sell at the trade deadline. I don't know. That would be some weird voodoo.
What are they selling though?
That's a great question.
Because everyone's either making a ton of money or it's a guy like Glaber who they're just not going to trade.
Selling low on. Yeah, like you're right. It would be hard for them to even sell things. I guess a bullpen arm.
Yeah, even then, their bullpen hasn't been so great this year.
And they're actually, you're right.
Kluber still hurt.
The more I think about it, you don't even
September.
You don't really have anyone you can. they're in a weird spot because all of their trades are more off-season trades. Like if you want to give up on Gary
They
Sanchez,
could
if you want
trade
to
the
trade
all-star
Clint Frazier,
Ruben Odor,
that
That
infield
guy
is
still
so
plays
bad.
back there.
Yesterday,
Teams
their
are lining up
infield,
for him.
their infield is hilariously bad right now. Like especially after the COVID issues, like they have nobody. It's DJ LeMahieu and a bunch of dudes where you're like, who? And that guy's still in the league, and what's going on? And then Tim LeCastro tears his ACL in left field. Like that, the Yankees are falling apart.
Yeah.
They are absolutely falling apart.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been.
I guess in Jay's news, like other things that happened that I just circle back on. Brucky's back, looked good in his first appearance back. Happy to have him back. They desperately need the arms in the bullpen. Hopefully he can stay healthy because they still need to add. He could be a high average arm if he stays healthy, but I still think they need to add one. You need to go out and make that move. So,
And they sent Payamps down, which did he get claimed or?
I haven't heard anything about him, so I'm waiting to see if he clears waivers. It would make sense. He's had moments this year where he's been good. We'll see if he does claim. We'll see how it goes. It'll definitely be interesting. But he's kind of expendable. Like he's been useful, but you lose Joel Payamps. That shouldn't make or break you. It really shouldn't. And if it does, you're not really a playoff team.
Yeah, and you probably have like 4 guys I can say you really trust right now. So it's different than before when like Payamps was almost like our best reliever for part of this season. That's how bad it was getting.
Exactly. And, Romano, you trust. He should have been an all-star. Adam Simber has rocketed. Like the trust tree for me is basically Simber, Richards, Romano. I trust those guys implicitly.
And I trust Brocky too, but he's also coming back, and
his tendency to get hurt is also like that's why he's not fully in the circle of trust at the moment. I trust his stuff. I want to trust his health. Hopefully, we'll see.
And have we seen a Hatch update? I thought I saw.
He's been pitching well
too. Yeah.
So there hasn't been one. Honestly, part of me, I know you don't really have the thing like the bodies to have a 6-man rotation, but watching the way Ryu pitches when he has extra rest makes me want to do that just so that you get this all the time. But it's kind of hard to do to rejig your entire rotation to make that happen, and then to find 6 arms that make it worth having 6 starters.
Like how many innings is Hatch going these days?
5 and 6, I believe. The last couple I've seen of his updates. Actually, I don't know about 6. I want to say 5 was the last update I saw.
Can I pause for a second? They are still rolling Mike Fulton, Nowich, however you say his name out there.
He actually hasn't been terrible for them.
Really?
I want to pull up his stats.
Well, his whip looks pretty good, actually. 1.2.
That's what I mean. He's been usable in fantasy because he Ks a bunch of people. Like his velos come back. He was throwing 89 to 91 with the Braves, and now he's back up to throwing into the mid-90s. Is he throwing 98 anymore like he was with the Braves? No. But the fact that he's got his velo back has really kind of helped his career have a resurgence. Although he's still not good.
We saw him in the first series, and I think I was saying like I don't think he'll make it out of April. Like just considering, what I think of him, but the fact that he stuck around is actually pretty surprising.
He's whatever. He's fine, I guess. On a good day.
That's exactly. He's a guy that like on a team this bad, he looks good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Rangers are happy having him right now. I don't think a contender like we should go get Fulton-Edge.
Oh God, no. I think that's why they didn't even put in a waiver claim for him. You know what I mean?
Did we talk about their Shatkins comments? I don't know if we talked about it before the podcast or during about what he said about like getting the team back and how like
before.
The way.
Okay, yeah, I think I mentioned it before, and yeah, take it away, Theo. Go for it.
Like I thought it was incredibly positive. Just the way he was talking about the city, way he's talking about the team. I really think my opinions have kind of changed from a couple weeks ago, where I said, "Oh, you won't see anything big, couple bullpen arms." Now, with just the way everything's lining up, the Jays are coming home right at the deadline. We have a pretty, if we have a good run before that, I think this management is going to want every excuse to make the city excited and to make the team like really competitive. So, I don't know. I thought the comments were very good, and I'm very, very excited to see what they end up doing.
The Jays coming home seems to have, easy for me to say, energized the front office similar to the way it's energized us as fans. After listening to Shapiro's answer to Hazel May, like my reaction in the moment was, wow, that was really surprisingly emotional from a guy. Like, it's not Ross Atkins, who literally is a robot, but Shapiro is very corporate, like very buttoned down, very business. You don't get much from him. You still get a lot of buzzwords. He just feels less robotic than Ross Atkins. Like, Ross Atkins feels like we're in the Matrix here and he's fucking Mr. Anderson. Like, just straight up. But that was surprising. And then to see, like, when you watch the pregame show and all this, the Blue Jay Central stuff, to see Arash Madani basically yelling about it, like, wow, that was surprising. Like, that is a lot of emotion. And to hear guys like Shai Davidi and Ben Nicholson Smith agree, like, you don't see that. Like, they were trying to use analogies to explain how rare it is to get any emotion out of them. So to get that even shocked these guys who are literally around them all the time. Like, literally around them all the time. They cover the team, so they talk to them on basically a daily basis if they don't see them on a daily basis. I mean, COVID's a little different, like Zooming with people, but you know what I mean? Like, they are actually around these guys. So that, I kept mentioning it, right? Like, this is the vibe of coming home and people getting excited. And I kind of hope, like, we mentioned it in that first game where they were just hitting tanks. Like, it felt different.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like, it feels like something's about to go off with this team, and it feels like it might. You know what happened with Montreal Canadiens this year, where just everything just kind of laid out, and maybe the city got excited, everything just started to work. I don't want to say it, someone holding 28-1 Jays World Series tickets, but like, this team has the momentum. If they can get the right pieces, if they make the get on the right run right now, I don't think there's a team in the AL I'd rather
I don't know about the World Series, because I think that might be shooting a little bit for the stars. But
I'm way over the top of this right now.
Well, not with this roster. It's insane to say. But
this is the thing about sports, right? Because this is the weird thing where it's just like there's a feeling at the moment, like there's a little bit of a different energy, and it is tied to the fact that this team is going to get to come home finally. There's all of the talent and all of the excitement and all of that, and that's undeniable, right? We've been talking about that for like a month now, screaming about how there are obvious holes and the talent is undeniable, and please take advantage of what Robbie Ray is doing. And Marcus Semien, like, we've all been talking about that. We've been hammering that drum for like a month. That momentum combined with this coming home energy, I'm excited, man. Like, I'm getting more excited about the fact that the front office seems to we might have seen the emotional investment that we've been asking for. You know what I mean? Wondering if they're going to make these moves. Like, I wonder if we're going to see them push a little bit more all in than they normally would, or they would have planned to.
Yeah. And if you talk about, like, especially if we get Ryu where he was last year.
If this wasn't a mechanical thing and he's rolling like this with Robbie Ray.
You have two that are great, amazing pitchers. And then if Manoah continues to be, to develop.
If he's more of, the ups than the downs, because he's a rookie, so there are going to be some bad starts, or then there's going to be weird starts where, like, against the Orioles, he goes 3 2/3, but K's 9. Like, there are going to be weird starts from a young pitcher. But if you get more of what he's looked against the Rays and the Marlins, if you get more of that from him, you'll completely take that. You'll take exactly what Stripling's giving you, which is 5 to 6 innings of 0 to 3 runs. You know what I mean? Like, he keeps you in it. Bunch of Ks, doesn't have you out of the game. Yeah, what's going on? I see freaking out
a little bit. Teoscar, I don't want to blow it. Are you guys watching?
Oh, I thought the game started at 4. Did they start it early?
No, they're playing now. Yeah, we're up 1-0. Teoscar hit a double. We got guys second and third now. 2 out.
I gotta fire up the game. Actually, we should probably just wrap this up unless
we're babbling.
Do you boys have anything else that you wanted to add?
We're gonna start guaranteeing shit. We're gonna start looking stupid now if we keep talking about how excited about.
Well, because like we're. I joked around about how this team felt like 2015, and there's a lot of real 2015 vibes. It's the offense. It's the fact that, like, they have a lot of the same issues. They would need a lot of the miracle, like, huge trade deadline. But the names are out there. Like, the bodies are out there to make this almost feel like that again. except instead of an old team kind of going on the last run and having like one or two kicks to the can, like this could be the beginning of something. So
Yeah.
very excited. Very, very excited. So yeah, hopefully we can all run. We'll watch this game with with you guys. Fucking see them. Hopefully they can shit pump the Rangers again, get a sweep here, and continue what we're talking about, right? Keep the vibe going, get some fucking trades happening.
If these fuckers blow this game tonight after we talked all this nice stuff, that would just be.
Oh my! We might have to have another podcast where we just go on a fucking rant.
I'll delete this shit so quickly.
Fucking new podcast. But anyways, do you boys want to get anything else off your chest?
I think Charlie had a good week getting thrown out of the game.
That's right. He got thrown out of the game. They were blowing them out, and he got blown out. I don't really know what he was mad about.
So
it seemed like a review, and then the basically said you don't have any time left, and apparently it had something to do with the phone not working, and Charlie got angry, and
yeah, like it was an ump show. The ump went and like, yo, you're not wasting any more of my time, and then he stopped, didn't let them review, and Charlie blew up, which you should eventually,
Yes, you should show some emotion.
Yeah.
Good week for Charlie. I will say that. He didn't blow any games. He didn't make any mistakes until we'll hopefully today.
I was going to say, don't. Yeah, exactly. Knock on all the wood. Don't. Good 2 games. This feels like the sign that's like it's been this many days since.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up now.
I feel like it's been like 2 days. It's been 2 games since there's been an accident at the work site, and we're about to see if there's
Springfield power plant.
Exactly. Are we going to get to day 3 or we're going to go back to 0?
We'll see.
All right, but I guess that's it for this one. This has been episode 20 of the Toronto Until Blue Jays podcast. As always, you can find our website, torontountilt.com. Easy for me to say, torontountilt.com. You can find our Twitter at torontountilt. Obviously, the video of this podcast will be on our YouTube, Toronto Untilt, and the audio version of the podcast will be available everywhere that you get podcasts. That's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Bleaker, Anchor, all of the things. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Jays need to go on a run. They're coming home. Big vibes. We're excited. We'll see you next week.